Cool. Well, hi everyone. I'm Alice. Thanks for the intro. So I'm one of the co-founders of Workflow, and our mission is to help accelerate the world's creative work. And so what we've built is a platform to help creatives manage, iterate, and get feedback on assets faster. And since most of us here are devs or know the dev process, just to kind of walk through the streamlined process that devs have. We've got our IDEs, we've got Copilot to help make that code a little bit better and faster. We've got GitHub, and we've got source code to check what changes are. And we also have automated testing, so that way, when you actually finally land that code, you know it's not going to break other parts of the app. And so just to draw a parallel to the creative world, if anyone here, has anyone worked with a creative team before? Yeah, okay, hands. You know that it's a lot more chaotic than the process that I've just described. You've got Figma links flying. You don't know where the latest version is. You've got emails with an asset that says final _ latest version. And so what we're doing is we're trying to help solve that problem. And so what we've built basically a powerful review tool as well as project management system to do this. And so we're multimodal to start. We do images, videos, PDFs, as well as live websites. And so what I have loaded up here is literally our product with our live website loaded. You can click around. You can do things like, it's hard to hold a mic and do this, so I'll just type random things and kind of comment. But where I'd like to focus this demo, there's like so many features to talk about, but specifically on this AI portion. And so just kind of backing it up a little bit, let's put on our designer hat and imagine that we're a designer at a company and we're in Figma today. And imagine that we are designing for a travel company. And this is like this beautiful landing page that we've just built. I think I'm going to have to drop this mic for a second because this is like a two-handed job. Cool. So we feel that this website is ready to go. We want to publish it onto Workflow and get people to review this asset. So the first thing we can do is send this over to Workflow. Amazing. Let's say. It's really hard to type with one hand. No, it's okay. Okay. Really appreciate that. Okay. Woo! What's your name? Alex. Alex. Thank you, Alex. Okay. Travel landing page. So much easier. Okay. So we click upload here. So much better. And so what we've built here is like a Figma plugin that integrates directly with Workflow so that creatives can really like be in where they already are and work with Workflow. So we uploaded it. There's the link. Let's go back to Workflow, copy it, paste it. Hopefully everything works. Great. Okay, so our landing page shows up here. We're ready to go. We want to send it to our client or our team to kind of review. But one of the things that a lot of creatives face is like, we kind of just want to do that like last sense check, right? And so what we've built are these kind of like common checks that you might have. So like spell check, grammar check, bias language, clarity, brand voice, et cetera. We're going to run this in a second. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to run it multiple times, but I also want to introduce this powerful feature that we've built called like custom prompts. And so imagine like, yeah, you're this designer, you work at this UX company, and you've done customer interviews last week, and what you've heard from customers is like, every time they see an image, they really want to know where that place is, so that way they can actually plan to go on holiday to that specific spot. So what you can do here is in the settings, in the AI checks, for the sake of time, I've already written it out, but we want to add the city check to see that countries mentioned include the city name. Cool, so let's enable that for this check. And so we'll go ahead and run that on this asset. And so I think the vision behind the custom prompting is like, this is kind of early beta right now, but you can imagine that in a marketing team, there's a lot of different things that you might have in terms of like a brand guideline. Your logo might only be able to be on like the top corners of an asset page, for example. You might have color consistency needs. Some other things are if you work at an advertising company and you're advertising a product, maybe if you have the product there, you need to make sure that the model's looking at it. And so these are kind of like all examples of just like the breadth of things that we want to be able to enable with these kind of automated checks. So let's kind of dive in and like look at some things that happened. Okay, so on the fly. Possible misspelling of unforgettable. Okay, we've forgotten the T. Looking here, okay. I realize this bounding box is looking at the middle of this text, but it says possible spelling of receive. Okay, I before E except after C. Okay, it kind of gets a little bit more interesting with, okay, possessive form needed. You know, you're a common mistake. Okay, this is actually a new one I'm not seeing. Incorrect day. Okay, so, okay, that's funny. This actually got, I guess, 17th of September in 2020 wasn't a Sunday. It's a Sunday in 2023. Okay, great. So, I mean, fair. Okay, more interesting thing around the city checks. Okay, country name without a city name. Okay, so we have Portugal here. Looks like probably Lisbon. We need to add that. Okay, so I think you guys get the point. So imagine we're like going back into Figma and we've actually made all of these changes. Here you can go and upload a new version. Let's call it final. Okay, and so we've kind of added that final version there. And so what's great now is, okay, we probably want to send it off again to our client and we're just running the checks again. And so probably a great point to kind of just pause and talk about also why this is important in the creative industry. So one of the biggest errors, or one of the biggest causes of errors, is like last minute changes. Many devs here, you've probably all gone in, tried to fix a bug, and like maybe didn't run all the tests and like caused something somewhere else. It's pretty similar. Like people might ask you for feedback and you might accidentally move something or like put in a little bit of the wrong text or date. And so this is kind of an important piece here. I think just to quickly touch on the Eng side as well, you know, you can imagine like if you try to put in this image into like a 4 vision model, let's say, it actually doesn't do a really good job of one, detecting the text. If you wanted to detect multiple things, LLMs tend to forget what's happening. And so what we've done is we've actually like stringed together a bunch of different things around using like the latest OCR models. We're also running a really fast model on Grok to actually look at thresholds and accuracy. And so those are kind of some of the really important things that we want to continue to improve and make better. So let's see, we've gotten some stuff returned here, okay. What is it actually detecting here? Okay, didn't get that before, but apparently it's got the city of London. And so that's fine, right? We don't actually need to put a country name there, so we can actually resolve that. And Dubai, okay. Fair. Maybe we want to put a country name, but that wasn't the point of the prompt, which is for, you know, images with country, so we can resolve that. And now we can back out and see, cool, all of the checks pass, and now it's ready actually to just go and send off to our, you know, company, manager, stakeholder, and you can just go ahead and copy that link. You can send this to anyone, and they can actually come on and go ahead and just like comment and actually give you real subjective feedback on your work. And so, yeah, I think the ultimate goal of what we're trying to do here is not just catch little mistakes, but it's ultimately to make a creative's workflow and time decrease and effectiveness increase for every single asset that they're creating. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, Angel.
Have you got time to do a little question?
Yeah, sure. Questions? Yes. Do you want the mic?
Yeah, you can.
Pass it over.
Hi. Yeah, thanks
Hi.
for the presentation. It looks great. I have a question. So, for instance, you have comments, you address them here, then you have some human feedback, and you need to go back to Figma, update it, and then put it back here. Will these comments be stable? Like, will they be linked again? Like, do we see the resolved comments from the past version to this new one?
Yeah. I can also just try to project. Yeah, really great question. So, I mean, this general product AI is kind of in beta, but the actual product's out there. And so really great question. Comments actually tie to the specific version that it's on. Eventually, we're actually looking at now building two-way sync with Figma so that designers can really stay in their flow, and that actually gets translated to them. And stakeholders and, you know, their clients are really in workflow, because stakeholders, what we've learned is, I think it's something like only 20 or 30% of clients are Figma literate. Most of them, you send them the link and you have to be like, don't touch these other pages. Like, I really need you to just look at this. And so what we'd love is for creatives to just spend more time doing creative work. And this is really a great way for clients to be able to review and for those comments to sync back. And right now, AI checks are just for the team. So clients don't actually see that tab at all. And as you can see, the comments kind of disappeared when I went to the comments tab. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Big voice.
Can you talk to us about some of the technical challenges you face when figuring out how do you combine the binding boxes and LLMs and how you merge them together? It seems very, very impressive.
Yeah. So I'm happy to kind of just like quickly chat through that journey. So obviously the first thing you do is naive approach, right? You stick this into like a vision model and you ask it all the things and it doesn't detect the text correctly. It's really, really slow. And so even that first check that we ran, you saw that the spell checks came back really quickly. And so what we did there is like we're running an OCR model, which happens in like milliseconds. And what we've told it to do is actually get the bounding boxes of different text. So it's actually a harder problem than you think because a lot of landing websites might have like text. And you have to have the LLM understand that like that's one sentence versus if you have like button, those are kind of different sentences. So we've like asked it a lot of different kind of custom prompts around getting bounding boxes for sentences and stringing sentences together. And then actually for the quick spell check that you saw, we're actually just running that through like a dictionary library. But we do run it on, I think we're doing Llama 3 on Grok right now just because it's really fast to actually also do a quick accuracy check. And we actually do like OCR checks to make sure. You'd be shocked, like this, an OCR model might think is like an and sign or something, right? And it might like tell you that something's wrong. So there's actually a lot of challenges even with just like text and images.
Time for one last one.
Oh.
Okay. This is awesome, first of all.
Cool.
Really,
Thanks.
really cool. One thing that at every company I've worked at is like a big time sink is the back and forth after the design is finalized, like the implementation. You always have like a difference between the implementation by the devs and the designs.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
do you guys plan to extend this to like QA as well, or like quality check?
Yeah, that's a really great question. One thing we've been looking at, and like we'd love to prioritize building too, is like after if you can put in what the dev did and actually like overlay it. There's products that do that already. I'm not overselling other products, but we would love to build that in as well and just have that be like a lot more automated.
Well, thanks so
Cool.
much.
Yeah. Thank you guys.